College football is in the air. We've been talking a lot about all the realignment rumors and buzz that's been going on with the different conferences, but there are games this month. I mean, college football is almost back, so I got my way too early top 25 rankings, including a couple of surprises, a couple of hot takes, if you will. Let's start with 10 teams just outside my top 25. South Carolina, I would not be surprised at all if they were ranked to start the year. Partially just to give that a top 25 matchup with North Carolina, who I've got in my top 25. Texas Tech's been getting a lot of hype. I think they'll be a good team, but I got to see it before I believe it. Oregon at home early in the year. Go beat Oregon. Then I'll buy into the hype. Texas A&M, look, they got talent, but they got a long way to go. Mississippi State, Will Rogers, veteran quarterback. They should be pretty good. Illinois was one of the best defensive teams in college football last year, but lost a lot of talent to the NFL draft. What does Kentucky look like in the post-Will Levis era? We'll see. Does Baylor bounce back this year? They won the Big 12 2 years ago. North Carolina State, UCLA, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and Zach Charbonnet exit. Can Chip Kelly get them back on track this year? And then Minnesota, who's been solid for a while under P.J. Fleck. Not in my top 25 rankings, but just outside. Guys, we're back. We made it. College football is here. Subscribe to the channel. We've been telling you guys, you want more college football videos? We need more subscribers. We've picked up a lot of new subscribers, but let's get some more from this show, and then we can do even more coverage for you guys. All right, let's get to my top 25 rankings. The Oregon State Beavers, who I think had quietly the most quiet 10-win season in college football history last year for a Power 5 school. Really good defensive team a year ago. They add DJ Uiagalelei, who I don't love, but should be better than their QB situation from last year. If he is, this is a team that could flirt with 8-9, maybe even 10 wins again. The Ole Miss Rebels, who started 8-1 last year, then lost their final 4. We'll see who starts at quarterback. They've got 3 options in that QB room. We know Lane Kiffin can cook offense. We'll just see who that cook is. The UTSA Road Runners. Don't sleep on this team. Frank Harris is back for another year at quarterback. They've been a 10-ish win team the last couple of years. They could be one of the best group of 5 teams. But I think everybody's chasing Tulane right now as the Green Wave beat USC in the Cotton Bowl last year, had a great season for that program. They've got a lot of talent back, and I'm excited to see what they can do for an encore in 2023. Now, what do you think is the best group of 5 team heading into this year? Is it Tulane or is it UTSA? If you think it's Tulane, type TUL. If you think it's UTSA, type UTSA. Let us know in the comments section. If you think it's another G5 team, let us know. Okay, Arkansas at number 21 with Rocket Sanders at running back and KJ Jefferson at quarterback. This could be one of the most lethal offenses in the country. They lost Kendall Briles to TCU, but they've got the talent in place on that side of the football. Can they get enough stops defensively? I think they'll be fun to watch. At number 20, Wisconsin. They've added a couple quarterbacks in the transfer portal, Tanner Mordecai, Nick Evers. I think Mordecai will likely start. If they can get that passing game going a little bit, Braylon, I forget his last name. They can really run the football, though. One of the best running backs in the country. Number 19, the Oklahoma Sooners. I don't know what to do with OU. Like, it's Oklahoma, so you're just like, oh, they'll be top 5, top 10. Well, they were terrible last year. I mean, they went 6-7 in Brent Venables' first year. Dylan Gabriel back for another year. He struggled a lot last year. We'll see. I think they're probably like an 8 or 9 type of win team this year. Maybe we'll be in Arlington in the Big 12 championship game, but that defense has got to improve. That's why they brought in Venables, to improve defense. We'll see if it happens in year 2. The North Carolina Tar Heels at number 18. They're kind of the opposite, or they're kind of similar to OU in the sense that they'll score a lot of points. Can they stop anybody, though? Drake May might be the best or second best quarterback in the country, competing with Caleb Williams for that honor. They play South Carolina week 1. That should be a good test. The TCU Horned Frogs at number 17 obviously got slapped in the national championship last year, but I think people are forgetting they didn't make the freaking national championship. Like, they should be ranked. A lot of players lost to the NFL draft, some other senior contributors as well, but a lot of talent coming back, especially on defense this year too. Here's to see what Sonny Dykes does in year 2. Kansas State, who won the Big 12 championship game last year, they got Will Howard back at quarterback. big losses with Deuce Vaughn and Felix Anudike-Uzomah, a couple of contributors on defense as well, but they should be in the mix in the Big 12. At number 15, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, one of the biggest transfer portal additions in quarterback Sam Hartman. That was their biggest problem last year, is inconsistent quarterback play. If the rest of their team plays similar to what it did last year, you add a top 10-ish, top 15 college football quarterback, you got a chance to win 10 games. The Oregon Ducks at number 14, Bo Nix back for year 16 of college football. I think it's actually just year 6, but it feels like year 16. Played really well last year for the Ducks. Dan Lanning just got a raise in his contract, did well in year 1. They'll be in the mix to win the Pac-12. As should the Utah Utes. Now, quarterback Cam Rising back for year 6. His status is in the air for the opener against Florida. There's been some chatter that he may not be ready coming off that knee surgery, so that's a huge deal. I mean, if he's not ready, they lost to Florida last year with Cam Rising, so that's something to monitor. If they can get through that Florida game, whether it's with or without him, kind of settle in and let Rising be ready for conference play, then I think they got a chance to make a run. The Washington Huskies, trio of Pac-12 teams here, all should be in the hunt to be in the Pac-12 championship game. Maybe dark horse playoff teams. We'll see. Michael Penix is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Had a huge year last year. Expected to have a big year this year as well. I think Clemson's one of my wild card teams this year. They add Garrett Riley from TCU to run their offense. I'm excited to see what Cade Klubnik does in his sophomore season. We know they're going to play defense. Can Klubnik get the offense going with Garrett Riley in town? He won the Broyles Award last year for the best coordinator in college football. That was a huge add. Is that offense has kind of sputtered since Trevor Lawrence left. Tennessee at number 10 of the Volunteers. I think the biggest wild card player in the country this year is Joe Milton. Seriously, this is going to go one or two ways. One, he's going to live up to the hype, and they might even flirt with the SEC East, although it's going to be tough with Georgia. Or two, they're going to go 7-5 because it's going to be an inconsistent train wreck. So I got him at number 10. A lot of talent on that offense back. If the defense plays a little better and Milton's the real deal, watch out. At number 9, Penn State. I think it's addition by subtraction with Sean Clifford exiting. Drew Allers was a big recruit a couple years ago. He's slated to start at quarterback. Can Penn State finally break through in the Big Ten? It's kind of been Ohio State and Michigan the last few years. Penn State's we'll just go 9-3, 10-2 every year, then lose to the big boys. Are you a big boy or not, Penn State? We'll find out in 23. The Texas Longhorns. Can't believe I'm buying into the hype. I can't believe it. Look, they should win the Big 12 based on talent. We've been here before, though, folks. Quinn Ewers. I mentioned it with Joe Milton. Quinn Ewers is a major wild card in college football. If he lives up to his potential, Texas could be a college football playoff team. If not, it's probably another 7, 8, 9 win team down on the 40 acres. Big year for the Longhorns. Last year in the Big 12, they want to be heading into the SEC coming off a major campaign. Steve Sarkisian, all eyes are on you. Our annual question, is Texas back? Type B for back. Yes, they're finally back. In for not yet. Obviously, the answer at this moment is no, because you have to prove that you're back before you're actually back. But will they be back? That's up for you to decide. Debate down in the comments section. The Florida State Seminoles at number 7. I'm buying the Noles this year. Jordan Travis is one of the most electric quarterbacks in college football. We get to see Florida State LSU again early in the season. I cannot wait for that. Winner of that game is in a good position to make a run at the college football playoff. Here's one of my hot takes. I got Bama at number 6. I know I'm going to get ripped in the comments. How do you not have them 1 or 2 or 3? What is their quarterback situation? They went 10-2 last year, I guess 11-2 at the bowl game, with the best quarterback in the country, arguably, in Bryce Young. You don't have anything close to Bryce Young. Jalen Milroe was so bad in spring that they had to go get Tyler Buckner from Notre Dame, who was not good at Notre Dame. You've got, who's the other kid, Coop? Ty Simpson, who was a big recruit. But if he was so good, why are you going to get Buckner? This is the worst QB situation for Nick Saban since Jacob Coker. I know Coker won a national championship, but the defenses were a little bit better back then. Blake Sims? You want a hot take? I don't think Nick Saban wins another national championship at Alabama. I just said it. All right, top 5 we go. USC Trojans. I'm not quite ready to say USC is national championship or bust because I know you have Caleb Williams, you have Mario Williams at receiver, you have all these pieces, but the defense is just awful. I mean, I saw them get trucked in the Pac-12 title game by Utah last year. I saw Tulane just kick them in the teeth down the street in the Cotton Bowl here in DFW. Are you going to stop anybody, Alex Grinch, USC's defensive coordinator? If you hold teams to 30 or less, you're probably going to win every game with Caleb Williams. I'm not convinced they can do it, though. LSU at number 4. I'm buying LSU. They won the West last year. Brian Kelly did a great job in year 1. Jaden Daniels back for another year of college football, and they've got the best defensive player in the country in Harold Perkins. He is absolutely nasty. I think the Tigers win the West again. Can they get into the college football playoff? I think if they do, that means 2 SEC teams are making it. Michigan Wolverines at number 3. I was debating 2 and 3. Producer Coop disagrees with me. I like Michigan a lot. Now, does the Harbaugh suspension impact them in any way? They're not going to lose any of the 4 games without Jim Harbaugh to start the year. It's a cupcake schedule to start, but could there be some kind of adjustment period when the games do actually pick up once Harbaugh does come back? I do wonder about that. Can J.J. McCarthy take a big step as a passer this year? They should be really good. I just like Ohio State's skill group a lot more. I know the running backs at Michigan are awesome, but this receiver duo at Ohio State and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka might be the best we've ever seen. I mean, MHJ, if it wasn't an elite quarterback draft, would probably go number 1 overall. He'll probably go 3 behind Caleb Williams and Drake May. Emeka Egbuka is going to go top 10. He's special. You still have Julian Fleming. You have other pieces as well. And I think Kyle McCord's going to be solid. He's just got to distribute the football. He doesn't have to be as good as C.J. Stroud was. If the Buckeyes can run the ball effectively in that matchup with Michigan and just not bust 3 coverages like they did in last year's game, I think their raw talent is better than the Wolverines. Obviously, they got to prove it in that game, though, which they have not the past 2 years. Georgia Bulldogs at number 1. I don't really care who's slinging it for them. They're like the one team right now where you don't need an elite quarterback to win a national championship, because when you have 25, 30 NFL players on your roster, I'm serious. I mean, it's hard, man. It's hard to compete with these guys. I mean, last year for like the first 2 months, they didn't even give a shit. Remember when they almost lost to Mizzou? We're like, oh, Georgia, they're not good. Well, they didn't care until December. Then they just steamrolled everybody. So, yeah, I just, someone's going to have to knock them down a peg. Kirby Smart has dethroned Nick Saban on top of the college football world. That's kind of where I'm at this point. I think a three-peat is very possible. As long as the QB play is adequate, they're going to be tough to beat. Will Georgia three-peat as champs? Type 3 for three-peat, D for they'll get defeated by some point. Look, if I'm taking Georgia or the field, I guess I'm taking the field, but I might still take Georgia if I think about it. It's going to be interesting. So let us know. College football is back. Embrace debate in the comments. See you next time.